Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
The following is a News Channel 8 special presentation.
Just one more day before the elections, and it's your turn to vote. Andy's got the rundown.
Sam, why is the voter turnout so low in Washoe County? That's a question we'll put to Dan Burk, the Registrar of Voters. And Halloween may be over, but Guy Rocha, the state archivist, is here with a few ghostly tales of elections past. And will Senator Washoe hold on to the state Senate? We'll find out when Joe Brezny, the executive director of the Republican Senate Caucus, takes the hot seat. Sam?
Thanks, Andy. And the bad boys of punditry join us. Chris Wicker, Greg Ferraro, and Jim Denton. It's all coming up on the all-new Newsmakers.
For almost 25 years, Randolph Townsend has brought fresh solutions to Nevada. In 1978, he campaigned for the rights of ratepayers by championing the Office of Consumer Advocate. Later a state senator, he took bold steps to fix Nevada's industrial insurance system, which was losing $1 million a day. An advocate of the disabled and mentally ill, Randolph Townsend was appointed by President Bush to the 15-member National Mental Health Commission. Senator Randolph Townsend, working for Nevada.
Hi, I'm Isla, and I run Lend a Check. Lend a Check has been loaning money to Northern Nevadans for more than 8 years. And I'm proud of the affordable and honest way we do business. The next time you are in need of fast cash because your paycheck has run short, you have had an emergency, or are planning a special evening out, remember Lend a Check. We're an ethical company who treats our clients as friends as well as customers. Call us at 358-3118. When you need cash fast, call Lend a Check. We're here to help you.
Now offers a variety of products with a choice of material and finishes. Create your own look of individuality with interior windows of mahogany, cherry, Douglas fir, pine, cedar, maple, and 50 standard exterior colors at no upcharge. Custom shop quality without the custom shop prices. All things Eagle Window and Door customers come to expect. For that extra touch you're looking for, Eagle Window and Door, just west of Keystone on 4th.
It's so easy, easy router, easy router, it's so easy.
Sewer line failing, septic system draining slowly. Hey, don't tear up your expensive landscaping. Call Easy Rooter, your no-dig sewer and pipe replacement experts. Easy Rooter for a total replacement of sewer or drainage system, all without digging. For all your plumbing needs, call Easy Rooter.
It's so easy, easy router.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and political analyst Andy Engleman.
Is this War and Peace? Or is it the Washoe County sample ballot? This thing is huge. We'll talk to Dan Burk, the Registrar, and find out why it's so big. Plus, Guy Rocha is here, and he'll deflate some of the myths of Nevada history. Let's join him.
Sam, I'd like to introduce Dan Burk, the Washoe County Registrar of Voters, and you know Guy Rocha, the state archivist. Dan, let me begin with you. Why don't we have better voter turnout in Washoe County? It's some of the worst percentage-wise in the state.
Well, it's something we scratch our heads about a lot. Nevada is one of those states that offers 3 simple ways to vote. Anybody can ask for an absentee ballot. We have 14 days of early voting, and of course we have a very long election day, 12 hours. And so it's one of those things that a lot of people wonder exactly what it is. In fact, the state legislature this last time actually set out a committee to do nothing but try to study why it is we see lower turnouts.
And what did they find out?
Well, I think basically people have a disinterest, a disconnect between the process. They don't seem to see how it relates directly to their own lives.
Do you think that if maybe you had more places to do polling at in the in advance of the election, maybe we'd have better turnout?
That would certainly be helpful for us. That's one of the reasons why you see such heavy turnouts in Clark County. They are set up in every single mall or in any place they can for the whole entire 14 days. You can go anywhere in your neighborhood throughout those 14 days.
And we don't do that because of why?
Well, we have limitations in terms of the number of machines that we have available and the ability to do that. And if we move towards the technology that they use, we could do the same thing.
I see. You know, Dan, you came into an office that was fraught with a lot of questions and problems, and you've really cleaned it up. But I want to ask you about this sample ballot. This is clearly one of the ugliest sample ballots I have ever seen. And I understand that one lady threw it out thinking it was an ad from TMCC. Now,
No offense to TMCC.
I want to throw a question to Greg Ferraro from R&R Advertising over there. Greg, I'm going to put you on the spot a bit.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Would your firm be willing to help on a pro bono basis
Absolutely.
the Registrar voters next
Anything
election?
that would help stimulate voter input, we'd be happy to do.
Okay. We now have an offer from R&R Advertising to help you out next time to design a sample ballot.
Okay, I got a question for you.
You might want to see the contract on that first.
We got the contract right here on tape. All right, let's talk about the, it's difficult to understand. I mean, the ballot is big enough to begin with. We have pro and con on every question, but then there are pros and cons to the pros and cons. How complicated do we need to make this? I've sat down with 5 different family members to try and go through the ballot and explain it. Isn't it just way too complicated? Aren't people going to just go, enough already?
Well, Nevada has a system whereby it allows people to have arguments for every question and against every question. And then they also allow rebuttals to each of those, as you're saying. Many states have sort of an open door. What they allow is just anybody who wants to put a question in there, provided they're willing to pay a fee, do so. Ours is a little bit more structured. We have committees that are appointed in order to do it. It can get weighty, but if you run into a question on the ballot you're not sure about, it certainly is a good resource to go to find out both why you might want to vote for it and why you don't want to vote for it, and counters to those. So
I think it'll be interesting to tabulate at the end of the day how far people got through the ballot before they just gave up, if they give up, and hopefully they don't. Guy, have elections always been this ugly? I mean, we have some really nasty ones going on this year.
I could point out they've been uglier. I was sharing with Andy that in an 1898 election for U.S. Senate, the 2 candidates, William Stewart and Francis Newlands, and this is when the legislature picked our Senate prior to 1913. William Stewart hired a gunman, David Nagel, who had already killed a judge earlier in his career, to protect him from other thugs that were working with Francis Newlands. And of course, in that vote, there was an alleged kidnapping of a legislator who didn't show up for the vote, which had the desired outcome, I suspect.
Now, if all Republicans win the constitutional offices in this election, that means from governor on down to controller.
Right.
That will set a record that hasn't been broken since 1891?
1891 is when they took office. That's when they were sworn in. It's been 112 years, and it's the 6 major constitutional offices. We had more back then. Now we only have the 6.
Okay, let me ask you this. You know, obviously the Republicans appear to have a very strong slate this time. The Democrats don't. How often do we see these kind of cycles go through? I mean, should we expect to see 4 or 5 years down the road where it would be the exact opposite? How's it gone in the past?
Well, they've been more sustained than that. I noted that, you know, when the Democrats controlled all 6 constitutional offices was back in 1947, and there was a period of time when the Democrats pretty much controlled the life of the state, and pretty much in the 20th century. But in the 19th century, it was pretty much about the Republicans controlling the state. So I don't know if it's 4 or 8 year swings. Many times it's a longer swing than that, at least historically. Maybe in our dynamic world today, they move quicker.
One of the things I might add here is that even in the 5 years that I've been here in Washoe County, the migration is definitely in the direction of the Republican Party, and that's true not only in Washoe County, but statewide. Today, the statewide registration heavily favors the Republicans by over 8,000 registered voters. Just 4 years ago, it was almost even, and 6 years ago, the Democrats had a quite a small lead. So there is a slow migration towards the Republican Party occurring in the state of Nevada.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We're out of time. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Sam. All right.
And when we come back, one of the big deals in this election has been the Senate race, and who's going to control the Senate. We'll get into that right after this.
When Supreme Court Chief Justice Bill Maupin and his opponent, ex-Judge Don Charez, were both district court judges, their performance as judges was ranked in a 1996 Clark County performance evaluation. Of all judges rated, Bill Maupin finished in first place, 14 out of 18 categories. In fact, when it came to retention, Justice Maupin scored a 94%. His opponent only scored 69%. Records show Justice Bill Maupin has always been one of the top-rated judges in the state. Re-elect Supreme Court Chief Justice Bill Maupin.
Does Joe Carter really have our best interests in mind? When 70% of Carter's campaign is being bankrolled by special interests outside Washoe County. And Joe Carter will support Las Vegas liberals who took millions of dollars away from Washoe County schools. and sent it to Southern Nevada. Democrat Assemblyman Ken Howler called it a mugging of Washoe County. Call Joe Carter and tell him to stop siding with Las Vegas special interests and ask him, whose side is he on?
Hello, I'm Mike Langton, and I'm running for Washoe County District Court Judge. I would like to thank my many supporters, especially the police officers and firefighters who have endorsed me. I'm also very proud to be endorsed by Judge Mills Lane. Those endorsements are important in this race because they have actually worked with both me and my opponent. They know that I have the experience and integrity to do the job right. They know that I stand for justice and fairness for all. I ask you to join them and vote for me, Mike Langton, November 5th.
Over the past 20 years, I've seen a lot of changes in education.
I hope that I've had a positive effect on the students who have sat in my classroom.
I've taught them English and math, and I've taught them science. But if there's one legacy I hope I've left with them,
it's the value of a quality education.
In my experience, the Nevada State Education Association has
consistently stood up for quality education
for our kids and their future.
Any questions?
One of the toughest races in the North and the South is for control of the state Senate. Joe Brezny is somebody who's right in the thick of things. We'll join him.
Sam, this is Joe Brezny, Executive Director of the Republican Senate Caucus. And Joe, it's your job to do what?
Well, during campaign season, I work with the Republican senators and endorse Senate candidates and advise them on their campaigns, and then I just serve as a staff member in this session.
Will Senator Raggio hold majority of the, that's your job, right?
Yes.
To ensure that he does?
Yes.
I want the truth.
He will. I'll be employed on November 6th, yes. He will retain the majority.
If he doesn't, you're unemployed?
Well, it certainly increases the chances that I'd be shopping around for a job, but...
Okay,
yeah.
So you're saying that Senator Maurice Washington is going to win the Senate race up here?
Yes.
And that Dennis Nolan's going to win the Senate race down in Las Vegas?
Yes.
From a somewhat partisan perspective, I would say.
Well,
all right,
yeah.
so let's ask you this. This is one of the ugliest races going on in the North, certainly, which is the Washington Carter race. Both of the gentlemen we hear, neither of them appear to be as ugly as they've been painted on both sides by their commercials. Is it necessary to have such a nasty campaign? Because I don't know what the issues are anymore. I've forgotten what the issues are. All I know is the commercials.
Right. Well, you said that I speak from a little bit of a partisan perspective, and I do. So I'm more familiar with what's been thrown at my guy, and I don't think the issues have been addressed very well in this race. I feel like, at least from a partisan perspective, if there's been a train wreck within 3 hours of Reno, somehow it's Maurice Washington's fault, and I don't think that's very fair. But I think both sides have fought a good, hard campaign, and I think that at the end of the day, I think the better candidate's going to prevail, really do.
You mentioned before the program something that I thought was interesting, which was that there's a very similar race being run, but with the reverse kind of talk.
Right.
Explain that, would you, briefly?
The Dennis Nolan race in the South is being run pretty much the same way, except it's the exact flip. What we're hearing from the Democrats in the South is that a vote for an R isn't a vote for a Republican, it's a vote for Raggio, Reno, and the rurals.
And how does that play?
Not well. Mostly because it's just not an issue in the South. No one really cares.
Okay.
They really don't? I mean, it doesn't matter to them whether or not Senator Raggio is the majority leader of the Senate?
No. Not in any of the polling I'm seeing.
All right. So, but when you say that nobody cares, does nobody care about Reno? I mean, what's the interest level there, period?
Well, I don't think, being a larger population base in the South and having a smaller population base here, no one in the South really seems to get concerned if something... It's not taking that much away from Las Vegas. It's just not a big hot-button issue. It doesn't affect people day to day.
We're just that little town to the north.
I'm not going to say that. It's just, I don't think that something that goes on in Reno impacts Las Vegas in a very big way, and I don't think people are really concerned about it.
But in one way, that may mean that Las Vegans are not politically astute in thinking that Bill Raggio, being the Senate Majority Leader, is not an important thing.
Right. I don't think it's a big issue for them.
Okay, you're how old, Joe?
31.
31.
About to be 32.
Young people out there, you can have a career in politics without running for office. You can be behind the scenes. And here's the evidence.
All right, let's...
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've just got one more question for you. It looks like the Republican State Central Committee has really wiped out Dario Herrera to the point where it was a major article in the New York Times yesterday.
Yeah, it's that race is pretty ugly.
What's the polling on that at this point?
comfortably in double digits. I would say a comfortable double-digit lead for John Porter.
And what would you say is the message or the lesson to be learned?
When you're that ethically challenged, don't run for office.
Okay, thanks very much for being here. And when we return, we'll be joined by our pundits. We'll wrap things up the day before the election, right after this.
Question: who's in charge at the sheriff's office? Listen to Dennis Balaam explain his job responsibility as an appointed sheriff.
The position that I see as the sheriff is not involved in day-to-day activities. I don't know exactly what happened. I read the recaps.
As chief jailer with a $61 million budget and 715 employees, can this man really be counted upon to know what's going on in the event of a regional disaster? Apparently not. Accountability. Another reason Washoe County needs new leadership in the sheriff's office.
Lorraine Hunt is attacking Aaron Kinney because of a bankruptcy 16 years ago. But Lorraine Hunt repeatedly fails to pay property taxes, sewer fees, and homeowner assessments. Not 16 years ago, but as recently as this year. And small businesses have taken legal action against her 9 times to collect $200,000 in debt. Oh, and all those businesses she brought to Nevada, 38% have shut down. Lorraine Hunt, can you trust anything she says?
The holidays are coming, and Ennis is here to help start the season with our 1/3 off pre-holiday sale. You'll save 1/3 off on all Drexel Heritage Dining Room, plus all leather and upholstery furniture. Select Thomasville Dining and all Thomasville leather and upholstery furniture is also 1/3 off. Ennis has 0% financing with no payments for up to 12 months or special 5-year financing at 7.9%. Shop early and take advantage of our 1/3 off pre-holiday sale at Ennis.
Hi, I'm Rick, manager at Cabinet Connection, your authorized kitchen craft dealer. From new construction to home improvement, we have the products, pricing, and professionalism to make your dreams come true. Choose from an exciting array of styles, stains, and glazes in oak, maple, cherry, pine, hickory, or rustic alder. Or select any one of our many laminate, painted, and thermofoil styles. Detailed floor plans and estimates to licensed, quality-conscious installations. With selections to fit any taste and any budget, why wait? Call today.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers before open warfare breaks out here. We've got some happiness here. Andy, you take it.
Okay, actually, I'm unhappy.
Okay.
The 29th, last week, was time for people to file their financial disclosure statements at the Secretary of State's office or their clerk's office. We know that Mr. Shustek, who's funding John Hunt's race, refused to file his, and so did Ron Connect, who's running for the Assembly District 40 in Carson City. Actually, if we could get this up, Kirk, yeah, where the people at home could see it, actually filed this at the Secretary of State's office instead of filing his disclosure report, telling people where his money was coming from. It has this note on it that says, I have not yet finished compiling contributions and expense details. I will finish promptly and file an amended complete report.
Sort of like my dog ate my homework.
Yeah, right, exactly. The other's the state law. I hope the Secretary of State goes after these two men.
Doesn't this deprive voters of important knowledge that they need of who's paying for who?
Well, I think financial disclosure is a very important thing because I think people should know who is paying for who, and I think in the future when we get into more of the campaign contribution reforms, I think disclosure is going to be absolutely vital.
I mean, there are hundreds of candidates statewide that comply with the rules, so I would just say the final analysis is, if you're going to get in the game, know the rules.
I think one of the things that happened, by the way, when you talk about failure to disclose, when Mr. Shustek failed to disclose the campaign contribution expenditures on behalf of John Hunt, I think he effectively destroyed John Hunt's campaign, in my opinion.
I think that's quite an overstatement. I don't think that's quite.
I think when they met, I think when those two met, the campaign went downhill.
Well, this is arrogance of a candidate. Usually they get elected first before they get this arrogance.
Chris, Teamsters against question 2. That's the roads bill and public transportation. Is that just revenge?
Oh, I think that it's sending a message to the management of RTC that we don't like what happened with regards to the contract negotiations, and this is a message that we don't like it and we have a voice.
Doesn't that put them up against all the other unions, though, that would like to see this go through? I know from family connections that the unions are very much in favor of anything that will allow building projects to go ahead.
And I think it's very particular to the Teamsters Union and the big issue they had with the RTC. I can't attribute it to anything else other than they're trying to say, we have a voice, don't mess with us next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Andy?
I want to ask you guys, where do you see the U.S. Senate going? And I don't want to just hear partisan stuff.
Well, I got to tell you, Andy, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. I can make a case right now for a Republican Senate or a Democratic Senate. It's going to hinge on about 3 seats.
Chris?
Yeah, we were trying to figure that out beforehand, and you just don't know. It's so close that you just don't know. And the ironic thing for Nevadans is that I think the results of the U.S. Senate race is going to be the most important result of this election, even for Nevadans who don't actually have a voice in this particular election round.
Right.
I agree with people that are a lot smarter than me. We may not know until December when there's a runoff in Louisiana.
Yeah, it's going to take a while. New York Times comes out with an article on the front page, Parties Create Ways to Avoid Soft Money Ban. Terry McAuliffe came out and said, don't worry about the new rules, we've got a way around it, and you'll be able to spend all the money you want. How do you feel about that?
Soft money, in my opinion, is a problem.
Didn't we get rid of it?
You know, I was just going to say, Sam, I find it interesting that everyone that voted for soft money in the election reform bill is now out raising it with both hands. And the thing you have to understand about soft money, the way it presently is set up, is that it goes out of existence November 6th.
Tomorrow.
November 6th. It goes a day after tomorrow. It goes out of existence. And that's one of the reasons, that's another one of the reasons you're seeing this unprecedented spending is all the soft money has to go away.
Soft money is like water and it seeks its own level. It will find its way into the system.
Well, I think everybody thought that while this campaign finance reform was a good step, nobody thought it was going to be the end-all cure-all. There's going to be more steps.
All right, let's move on to some of the races. Let's get opinions here from all 4 of you.
Oh, you want us to give opinions?
Dorch Sferrazza. Who's going to come out ahead on that one?
I picked Dorch.
I picked Sferrazza.
I don't know. I mean, I have no way of knowing how it's going to go, and I hesitate to hazard a guess.
Andy?
I think Sferrazza. I think she's going to pull it out.
I think it's dead even at this point. Okay, Rigdon Zadra.
I don't know. That's going to be close.
You're a pundit. You got to know. Come up with something.
How come he got to not know?
Yeah, because I got tired of people saying I don't know.
Listen, let me say this. I talked to Don Carlson. So much is going to depend upon turnout.
Absolutely.
And if the Democrats, who don't seem to have an impetus to go vote right now because of a weak ticket, if they don't turn out and vote, then you're going to see Dorch win, and you're going to see Zadra win.
Yeah. But Zadra's had a lot more money in the last few days.
The polling that I have seen in the Zadra race shows that to be a close race, but it shows that her opponent has a much larger base of Democrats voting for him. And so if what you're saying, if Democrats do not go out to vote, that could be problematic.
I'll predict that Cashel wins.
We may throw you off this panel before the election is done here.
I guess the question for tomorrow is, will Cashel have coattails?
That's the question.
My guess is he might in one race and he might not in the other.
I think in the city council races, because people unfortunately do have somewhat a lesser knowledge about the candidate's stand than on some of the other races that get more information out, I think that a known name like Rigdon probably gives him the edge. Unless,
okay, but what about the power of the unions? The unions, for the most part, are in favor of the railroad trench. Do their numbers mean anything in northern Nevada?
They're weak in northern Nevada, certainly compared to southern Nevada.
But I'll tell you what, the unions can really get out the vote. The unions are experts at getting out the vote.
I think they're a potent political force. I mean, not like labor is in southern Nevada. But when you group in labor, you're including teachers, you're including AFL-CIO and the building trades, and I think that they have a significant input into the election cycle.
Okay,
the unions had a decisive effect on Harry Reid's last Senate race. That shows you the power that the unions have in northern Nevada.
Okay, is the trench advisory going to be to go forward or to stop?
I think the trench advisory question, the anti-trench forces will win that by the time the votes are counted.
Big margin?
I'll say 15 points.
I would agree with that, but I'd also add that I think the trench is going to go forward anyway.
I think it will, I think the majority of voters, and this is a trick question, so be careful. You know, a yes vote is to encourage the trench to go forward, as I understand it. And I think, surprise prediction, I think the yes will win.
I'll be surprised if that happens. I think the no will win, but I think everyone's going to be surprised by the small amount of votes on it.
I'm with Chris. I think that it's going to win, but I think the trench is going to go forward anyway. I noticed that Pete Sferrazza raised a lot of money in a race that he has no contest to pay off his debts from 4 years ago. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, how do you do that? I mean, when somebody...
He's chairman of the county commission. He ran unopposed. He's raised a lot of money. He's not the first person that's run unopposed that's raised a lot of money. He won't be the last.
I hate to see people go into financial ruin running a campaign. I mean, we need more participation, not less. And if people see others going into financial ruin, I don't think that's a good thing.
You know, I think it's interesting, and I'm not going to name the person, but I know somebody who ran for a 6-year office 6 years ago who mortgaged his house to run his campaign. I mean, I never
think
went
you
out
really
and
got
did
to
the
question
fundraising.
why they want the job so bad.
I know someone that's done that this year, as a matter of fact, running for a 6-year term.
You know, I'll put a good gloss on it because I think a lot of these people want to give public service.
I agree with
Let's hope.
They want to give public
That's
service.
why they're doing it.
It was also a good year to redo the mortgage on your house.
That's
All right, it's up to you.
Okay, predictions, real quick.
Predictions. I don't know what's going to happen in the United States Senate. I think it could, a lot of variables in there,
What
including
about
weather.
the controller's race?
Controller's race, I think, is going to be close. I said here the other day that I thought most
But who?
constitutional officers. I'm going to pick Kathy Augustine by the time it's all over because of the strength of the top of the ticket.
I predict the Democrats will retain the U.S. Senate, which I still think is the most important thing going on politically this year. I think John Lee will win the controllers.
I think it's a clean sweep. I think it's a Republican year in Nevada and a Republican year in Washington.
You know, we should have you put money on this.
We can't. It's illegal.
That's right. Okay.
Put Greg on the spot.
I'll take the bet in the back room.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
If you've ever been turned down for auto financing, you're going to love this phone number, 1-800-APPROVED. We do one thing all day long, help good people just like you reestablish their credit and get you back behind the wheel where you belong. 1-800-APPROVED. We have a tremendous selection of cars, trucks, vans, sport utility vehicles, and we approve loans 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because we have millions of dollars to lend. 1-800-APPROVED. Regardless of your credit history, 1-800-APPROVED. The sooner you call, the sooner you're approved.
Congressman Jim Gibbons believed that you deserved relief from the hardships caused by high taxes, which is why he and his wife Dawn sponsored in Nevada the Gibbons Tax Restraint Initiative that requires a 2/3 supermajority before the government can raise your taxes, and why he keeps pushing for similar legislation in Washington. Jim Gibbons believes that no additional financial burden should be placed on America's working families by the federal government without an overwhelming demonstration of need to do so. We need a fiscal conservative fighting for us in Washington. Re-elect Congressman Jim Gibbons.
Coming up tomorrow morning on News Channel 8 Daybreak, it's Election Day. We'll have a last look at all of the ballot questions and candidates.
And I will have a complete weather forecast, tell you about the big change that's coming this week.
Have a good day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m.
For almost 25 years, Randolph Townsend has brought fresh solutions to Nevada. In 1978, he campaigned for the rights of ratepayers by championing the Office of Consumer Advocate. Later a state senator, he took bold steps to fix Nevada's industrial insurance system, which was losing $1 million a day. An advocate of the disabled and mentally ill, Randolph Townsend was appointed by President Bush to the 15-member National Mental Health Commission. Senator Randolph Townsend, working for Nevada.
My name is Sean Patterson. I'm an attorney. I practice bankruptcy law. Bankruptcy does not have to be a traumatic experience. Bankruptcy can give you a fresh start. Let the law firm of Patterson & Kalicki solve your legal problems. Call now for a free bankruptcy consultation.
This time tomorrow, the polls will already be open.
That's right, 7 a.m. And everybody, please go out and vote if you haven't voted already. Vote twice.
And if you, they don't allow that, but certainly, thank you for watching this program, and it certainly will have made you a little bit better informed about what's going on. You can watch this show again at 9 o'clock this evening on cable channel 12 and 19 down in the Carson Valley. And also, tomorrow evening for the latest in election coverage, not only can you watch News Channel 8, but if you're near radio, KOH Radio will be broadcasting all the election results starting as early as 6 o'clock.
And we'll be back at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Indeed, for another episode of Nevada Newsmakers, so join us then. Thank you.